had my AYN Thor for a while now. I mean, for a while, it was literally all I ever spoke about on my channel. This device has gotten so much use. It is actually crazy. I don't think I've bought another handheld since I've gotten the Thor. I don't know if the Thor is still as relevant as it was when I first made those videos, because everyone was talking about them, especially with the price increase and stuff like that. But I don't really gaff. I'm gonna talk about it anyway. I'm gonna say it's been about like 5 months, 5-ish months since I've gotten the AYN Thor. My Thor has kind of been making the rounds on the internet. I made a lot of shorts with it, showing off like the decoration or just the games on it. On one hand, that's like super awesome because, you know, oh my god, everyone's seeing my Thor. People think it's cool. But of course, I'm not a stranger to the LARP comments or people just thinking like I bought this to decorate, make it all cutesy, and then never touch it again. Which, as annoying as it is, people are gonna be saying that no matter what I do. But with that out of the way, how is my Thor holding up? Honestly, it is holding up really well. I have pretty much had 0 issues, 0 damage since I bought it. I tend to take pretty good care of my devices. I also put a case on this day 1, and so I have been throwing it in my bag, kind of just letting it do whatever. Oh, like that, I guess. And my case does have a couple scratches, mostly from things in my bag, but there are a couple scratches. Yeah, you can barely see it in there. There are a couple scratches on the case. As for the device itself, you know, it's holding up. It's holding up very, very well. I haven't had a single problem with the hinge. I know that the hinge was a problem when the Thor came out, mostly because other devices like the Retroid Pocket Flip, I believe, had some hinge problems, and these two devices have very similar builds, I guess. I never had a Pocket Flip personally, but I know that they are very identical, like dimensions wise and possibly hinge wise. I mean, I haven't had a problem with it. It's a little dirty in there, but I did take this on a trip recently and I did use my Thor on the beach. So I mean, there's there's a little bit of sand in like some spots that are a little annoying, like right in this crack right here that I can't really get. There's like tiny specks of sand that I'm still trying to get out, but it's not really anything serious. If anything, the sand in here is like the most annoying part, but it's not a huge deal. Something I've really enjoyed about it is the battery life is still very good. I feel like I've put in quite a good amount of hours into this Thor throughout the last couple months, and its batteries still last me a couple days. I mean, I don't play on the Thor 4 hours straight unless I really have nothing else to do. So like most of the time I'm playing it for maybe like an hour or 2, and then I just do that, and then I come back to it later and play maybe like another hour or 2. So it's been really good. It's been very good on battery. And as much as I hate to say it, but I know so many people have said this already and so many people are thinking it, this has honestly replaced my Legion Go, which replaced my Steam Deck. I have my Legion Go plugged into my monitor up there, so I can't show it off. I do have my Steam Deck though. Here she is. I already began to stray away from my Steam Deck because I have a Legion Go, but I did recently turn it back on just to, you know, see how it's doing. For those who don't know, my Steam Deck had a terrible tumble while charging one day, and so the charging port is pretty in there, and because of that fall, it no longer outputs to a monitor, so I eventually just got a Legion Go instead, and that has been kind of my handheld PC device. But I'm also kind of growing out of the massive handheld PC hype, honestly. I love my handheld PCs. I have used them so much. I mean, literally look at my Steam Deck. This thing is love. And as someone who doesn't have a beefy PC, like my main PC is literally my Legion Go and a MacBook, these have been very good to me, but I found myself using them mostly docked anyway, and it is unfortunately because of how massive they actually are. I love the Steam Deck. I love the Steam Deck very much. It's a very comfortable handheld, especially because it is so big. It is very comfy to hold. But to be honest with you, this thing only came with me on a road trip one time before I got my Thor, and it was very good on the road trip, but it's huge. It just takes up a lot of space in my bag, let's be real. And this little guy, oh, hello Discord. This guy right here obviously does not take up as much space. So immediately, as someone who loves to go on road trips and goes on road trips pretty often, this already replaced my Steam Deck and Legion Go as my portable PC gaming device. And related to that, most of the games I played on my Steam Deck and Legion Go can be played on here. The Steam Deck is known to be able to play a lot of indie games, a lot of lower end PC games pretty well. And I got my Legion Go because I wanted to play games that were slightly beefier. But then I found the beefiest game I really played on the Legion Go was like Destiny 2. And it couldn't run many other beefy games that well. So pretty much my entire Steam library that I actively play on these handhelds can be played on here. Sorry, I just realized my microphone was not plugged in. But anyway, pretty much any game I wanted to play on my Steam Deck that it could run really nicely could run on here. The only big difference between this and your average handheld PC, or at least like affordable, well, what used to be affordable handheld PCs, is because the Thor runs Android, it can't really play online PC games because it emulates a PC, I guess. So I found that literally most of the things I already play, they already ran pretty nicely on here. Personally, for PC games, I chose Game Native. I just found that some games ran a little bit better on Game Native than they did on Game Hub. On Game Hub, I like the UI, but I had a lot of issues with like it constantly asking me to sign in, and sometimes it was a little buggy. On Game Native, the only problem I really have is sometimes newer games struggle to get synced up to the Steam cloud, which I don't have that issue a ton, mostly because those types of games I would be playing on here, I strictly play on the Thor. But in the chance that I do want to throw it on my Legion Go or whatever, sometimes I have a Steam cloud syncing issue. But the developers seem to be pretty quick about fixing it, especially if you just like go on their Discord and explicitly say like, hey, this game's having cloud issues. It's pretty quickly fixed. So big ups to Game Native devs for that. And also, honestly, I don't find the UI for Game Native that ugly. This is not that bad. And I only use Steam. I haven't tried any other one, but I'm curious about Epic Games. I know that I have a ton of those free games on here. But yeah, Game Native and Steam, pretty good. Another fun thing about this device is Android games. And I have had pretty much no problem with Android games. If anything, the problems I have are like optimization issues. I also don't play too many Android games, too many mobile games, but Destiny Rising works pretty well. It worked straight out of the box. I mean, I think back when I got the Thor, connecting a Bluetooth controller kind of goofed it up, and it couldn't fully detect the Bluetooth controller, but it could detect like the Thor controller. So that was interesting. I have Where Winds Meet on here, but honestly, I've not really played a lot of it. It's definitely here for when I feel like playing it, that's for sure. Sky works really well. I feel like Sky has never really had any problems on like any mobile platform. Minecraft runs pretty good. It runs so good that it has vibrant visuals off the default. I think I brought that up in my previous Thor videos, but yeah, I've had no problems playing Minecraft. Honestly, it is a ton of fun playing Minecraft on the Thor. It's like way back when, before Minecraft came out on the new 3DS. It's like what I dreamed about Minecraft being on the DS. I love it. The mobile game I have been having some issues with though is Warframe, and this is not a Thor issue from what I can gather. I'll boot it up. Oh, okay, well, I guess it has to update. This update better fix the problem I was just about to complain about though, because Warframe on mobile looks gorgeous, especially on a smaller screen where it's harder to like see the pixelizations and stuff going on. But Warframe on mobile has a controller mapping issue that I've seen some people fix, but a lot of people haven't been able to fix it. I'm unfortunately one of the people that have not been able to fix it. So let's see if this was fixed before I start complaining. So the issue I had with Warframe was, obviously, it looks beautiful, and for the most part, the buttons all work. My problem mostly stemmed from aiming, where if I would aim and I would move the camera around, it would just glitch out. So, you know, everything's working real nice where I can shoot, but if I aimed and this obviously is not an ideal way to play the game with a controller, which is so unfortunate because everything else works, I think. Yeah, everything works. But forbid I want to aim in my shooter without it zooming out like this. This is just insufferable. And I was really worried at first that it was a Thor issue, because I read somewhere that if you go to your options and you change it to the Xbox controller set, it would fix it. It did not fix it. Even changing it to auto detect seemingly does not work. It is just a very unfortunate thing that has nothing to do with the Thor, but I really hope that they fix this. I guess this has been an issue for a very long time, at least from me looking through people complaining on Reddit. And yeah, I wish I could play Warframe with a controller, but whatever. Look how pretty it is though. It looks great. Anyway, I still leave it on the Thor in hopes that it is fixed soon, but I don't think that'll be fixed anytime soon. I feel like that is all the mobile games I have. I have NTE. NTE is another game that does look really good on the Thor. I know that it's a very power hungry mobile game, which is why I did install it just to like see how pretty I can make it. I don't really feel like playing it though, but that is also on here. In terms of what else I do with the Thor and how I actually use it in my day-to-day life, I already mentioned I like to throw it in my bag a lot, use it in short bursts, and I'll go over some games that are really good for a short burst, but I don't use many other apps that are not gaming related. I have a ton on here. I have a lot of streaming services. I feel like I mostly use like YouTube on here. Can I exit this? Thank you. I definitely use YouTube a lot on here. I think it is the non-gaming app that I use the most. Here, I will throw it on the big screen. There we go. And honestly, once you find a pretty good video to watch, it does the job pretty well, especially if you have earbuds or whatever. I feel like the only problem I really have with it is sometimes it is a little bit difficult to navigate when it's horizontal. Sometimes I have this issue right here where I can't like take it out of full screen to like look at comments and shit. Like it just does not work. So I have to pull that. And yeah, that do not work. I think that can be a little annoying sometimes, but I don't watch YouTube enough on the Thor to have that be a problem. And also I think it looks pretty good, especially on the pretty screen. It just looks great. I don't know, I think it's fun. Anyway, the full screen issue is definitely a minor issue. I'm just gonna exit YouTube. I don't find myself using many other streaming services, but I do have them on there just in case I feel like watching something. The only other stuff I really use is music apps. I'm an Apple Music user, and I find Apple Music to be pretty good on here, honestly. On the bottom screen, it has this annoying border, which is not a huge deal, but I mean, it gets the job done. It gets the job done pretty much. I mean, I feel like Apple Music on Android has always been a little buggy. Like these are not all the correct like album covers for the songs, but that's again just an Android thing and not a Thor thing. And like for the most part, just putting a song up there, leaving it at the bottom works pretty well. I do also like how Apple Music looks on the top screen. I'm a big fan of how it has the now playing on the side, and I think it looks a little bit nicer on the top screen, weirdly enough, especially just having that right there. Right there. Anyway, I also use Discord. I think it's very fun talking to my friends on the bottom screen and then having my game up here. As you can tell, the last thing I was on was the Cocoon server, which is the front end that I use here. Honestly, I don't really have any problems with Discord on here. That's a little funky, but it works pretty well. I've had all my problems solved on here. And of course, I have Google Chrome on here for when I need to Google what the fuck I'm doing in a game. Let's talk about the launcher. Let's talk about the front end. With all the different front ends you can use on the AYN Thor, I have yet to try anything that isn't Cocoon. I do really want to try Isu. Isu is the big one. I feel like everyone talks about Isu. I'm a big fan of its social features, and I think that's the main draw for me. I feel like that's the main draw for Isu in general when you compare it to something like Cocoon. But Cocoon has been the GOAT from day one. This is such a good and clean front end. I absolutely love how familiar it is right off the bat if you have used a 3DS before, which obviously so is Isu. That's not like a Cocoon exclusive thing, but this is very nice. I love the grid. You can adjust it to be however you want. I really like the smallest size just because I've always enjoyed seeing all my games and stuff in front. I like that it automatically has icons for the different emulators, and you can choose, or you can change the icons too, but I like how they look by default. I haven't been huge on customizing the logos and stuff like this. I pretty much just find the logo online, find some art, throw it in the back for the ones that don't already have one. But there have been many and many beautiful customization stuff I've seen people do for games and their little menu heroes and stuff, but I am content with just the logo and the art in the back. Cocoon has also been getting a ton of updates lately. At least like the developers have been very hard at work making Cocoon look very clean. I know there's a lot of stuff coming soon. They've been teasing stuff like widgets, I believe. I guess I can just pull it up on here. How convenient. Wow. Awesome. I know that when you do launch a game, it has this cool little screen at the bottom. I think that's really cool. But go down here and click on this little thing. It's a freaking keyboard. I think that's really cool. I haven't had to use it just yet, but that is a lot of fun. In terms of how I organize Cocoon, I have mostly mobile games on the top row and Minecraft Dungeons. I've not played this yet on here, so I don't know if that runs, but... And then pretty much everything else are games that I play the most often or have definitely played more than once on here. For the most part, the UI has been amazing. I absolutely love how customizable it is. There's even different themes you can get. They have this cute little theme store, which I heard they're also reworking so that it looks a lot nicer on dual screen devices. But this is so cute. I love this. This is adorable. It's very easy to use. Honestly, I didn't have to look up a ton of stuff to figure out how to use Cocoon. It was pretty straightforward. At least if you are familiar with handheld devices or you're not someone who like doesn't use devices often, I feel like you can figure out Cocoon pretty easily if you're familiar with things like that. I know that there's a ton of people who want the AYN Thor who've never had a handheld like this before, or they're just even not that tech savvy. So I don't want to be like, it's easy for everyone. You never know. But for me, it was very easy to set up. I didn't need any help, but there are a ton of videos on Cocoon if that is something you are interested in figuring out. You can also do custom wallpapers. I have marathon themed wallpapers here. I think it kind of makes the OLED really pop. I mean, my camera is doing a pretty good job at showing off how bright the colors are on the OLED. It looks great. I mean, it doesn't look that saturated as my camera is making it, but it is very saturated. Let's move on to some games I've been playing. So you've already gotten a pretty good glimpse at all the games I have on here, but I have a ton more in this little folder. Because of the Thor's form factor, this is very much a device you pick up for a little bit, throw in a bag, pick up for a bit, throw in a bag. It's a DS. It's a portable device. You're gonna want some games that are portable friendly. And now that I've had it for a while, I've definitely found some good Steam games that are portable friendly. I'll start with the one that I bring up in every single video, Fields of Mystria. Fields of Mystria is a very cozy game. Is if Stardew Valley Harvest Moon had a very Fire Emblem inspired world and art style, like the classic like GBA Fire Emblem, and sprinkle in like a little bit of Animal Crossing mechanics in there. I think it is so fun, and it's finally getting a full 1.0 release in August, so I am very, very excited for that. Fields of Mystria is the one that has always hooked me, so I'm very excited for its update. Another pick up and go and drop and go and pick up and whatever game I have on here is Ratcoin, which is difficult to put down, might I add. I love this game. I absolutely love this game. When I was little, I had an obsession with a coin pusher game on my iPod, on my little iPod Touch, and it was such an addiction. And this just threw me back into it. So I already had an enjoyment for coin pusher games, but Ratcoin is something else. And also, a coin pusher roguelike just sounds amazing. And it is amazing. There has been a very drastic rise in strange roguelikes since Balatro, and in that I mean there's a lot of card game and board game roguelikes that have recently come out after Balatro, because I know there are going to be people that are like, oh, but there was this before Balatro. I'm just saying, I'm noticing. I'm noticing a lot of these fun and awesome roguelikes since Balatro. Okay, thank you. And this is one of them. And I love it. I love it so much. The Thor has gotten me into the very poor habit of buying a shit ton of Steam games and wanting to play them all. Like Bollocks Pit, which I've yet to play on here, but I've heard that it's a good option for the Thor, so there's that. Thrifty Business is from the people who made Sticky Business. If you remember that game, I remember seeing it everywhere. It very much reminds me of those story tycoon mobile games like Fashion Story, Zoo Story, Restaurant Story, Bakery Story. Do you know what I mean? Because I know what I mean. I used to play those a ton. But it is just one of those fun, addictive business simulator tycoon-ish games. Kind of like Ratcoin, just reminds me of old mobile games I used to play all the time. It is very easy to play for a few minutes and then put it away, move on to something else, and then come back. Literally the perfect handheld game. Beacon Pines, if you don't know, I am the community manager, marketing lead for the studio that made Beacon Pines. They're working on a new game, not sponsored, but it's Wicked Delights. It is like Rhythm Heaven, but horror, and it's cool and it has different art styles and whatever. But I did not play Beacon Pines before working with the absolutely lovely team that I work with now. And of course, I have to do my homework. They didn't ask me to play Beacon Pines beforehand. They were actually perfectly content with me just like, you know, full sending it on Wicked Delights. But I had to do my homework, right? I am almost done with Beacon Pines. I keep getting distracted with a bunch of other games, but I know I'm almost done with Beacon Pines. This is a good fucking game. And I'm not just saying that because I work for the studio. Like, genuinely, I bought the game without seeing a single freaking trailer, without seeing anything besides, like, the box art for Beacon Pines, because I was like, well, I gotta fucking play it. You know, I work here now. And guys, it's kind of goated. And it's crazy because I've been scrolling on my own accounts, right? I follow a lot of cozy game creators, and I've seen like a slight rise in people mentioning Beacon Pines lately in different slideshow posts and stuff. And so I know this game has an audience. I don't know why I've never heard of it before, but it's pretty good. It is very storybook and narrative driven game. It's very much one of those games where you make a ton of choices and then you regret those choices and then you see the outcome and then you have to go all the way back and fix it before you fuck everything up. And it's so interesting because the way that the narrative showcases it is through like a storybook. And so you're just actively rewriting the story. It's just cool. It's cool. I think it's pretty cool. But I have a fear that I'm going to be talking about it like it's this crazy new thing and people are going to be like, we've been knowing Beacon Pines. But that's cool, I suppose. If you do like Beacon Pines, though, you should wishlist Wicked Delights. You know what I'm saying? Because that way the team knows I'm doing a good job and I'm using my platform for good. And also I'm super cool because the game's almost at 20,000 wishlists. And I know a lot of the people watching this video like rhythm games. So you should wishlist Wicked Delights. But anyway, you should also play Beacon Pines. I'm just saying. Okay, moving on. Is This Sea Taken is also a very fun game. I've not played it for a minute, but this game was also kind of everywhere for a bit in like the puzzle game, cozy, cool looking, pretty game scene. It is a puzzle game that makes me feel super smart whenever I beat a level. And just like every other Steam game I've mentioned so far, you can pick it up, play for a little bit, play a level or two, and just dip. And I love it. I love it, honestly. And just like many of the other games on here, it gives me that peace of mind. It reminds me of older mobile games before mobile games were all cash grabs, if that makes sense. Dave the Diver, you know what? I actually started playing this game more on my Switch recently, but I know damn well that Dave the Diver would be a great game on the Thor. I just don't want to completely restart my progress to have it on the Thor. I feel like we all know Dave the Diver. It is a restaurant game, but you also dive and fish and almost die to giant fish all the time. And you learn about cool things and fish people and awesome things. I love Dave the Diver, and that was a really poor way of explaining it. I got it on the Switch 2 because I wanted more games to play on my Switch 2. And so kind of around the same time, which is literally recently, that Star Fox came out, I was playing Dave the Diver. So I've been flip-flopping between Dave the Diver and Star Fox the last couple days. Another roguelike restaurant running simulator game that has me die a lot but is fun is Cuisineer. I feel like not a lot of people know about this game. It is pretty much just what I described, but it also has a fun, cute art style. It can be difficult, it can be easy. It's just one of those games. I like this game. I feel like it's not that known. It's also been on my Thor since day one, so a lot of these games might have been in my last video, but I can't remember. Billionaire. I feel like I always see Billionaire like on Steam for sale during sales. It's probably for sale right now, I don't know. But I definitely got it for sale and weirdly worth my time. It was definitely a fun game to throw on the Thor. I feel like since Ratcoin came out, I haven't touched it as much because they're both roguelikes, but I like Billionaire. I recommend it if you like weird shit. So I'm gonna butcher this because I've realized I've never heard anyone say the name of this game, but I'm gonna say Kalaniku. I don't think that's right. Kalaniku Bowl Up. You can see it on the screen. I fucking love this game. It has just been... It gives me that same itch that Cooking Mama did back in the day. I feel like what makes this game so good to have portably is not only does it have that pacing that just makes it perfect for turning it on and off, playing a mission and turning it off, doing a cooking day, turning it off. But unlike a lot of these cooking restaurant simulators is the fact that it has a mode to turn off customers' patience when you're cooking. The closest example I can think of is Good Pizza, Great Pizza, which was also very popular. And how you're making the pizza, you know, customers get impatient if you take too long, whatever. And you can play the game with that feature, which I feel a lot of people will. That's like the stress is a big appeal for a lot of cooking games for some people. But I feel like having the option to turn that off and making the game a lot of your own pace while you're cooking is a very fun take, actually. I find it the most enjoyable when I am just kind of chilling at home and I don't feel like locking in as much, so I can just turn that off. They call it cozy mode, which low-key I guess is fitting. It does make the game a lot cozier, a lot less competitive feeling, and I think that's just a fun option to have. Call me silly, but I love when games have options to play the game how you want to play it. But also, what I feel makes this a lot more unique when compared to other restaurant sims of a similar style is it has these mini competitions every other day or so where you are just competing against someone else to make the best ramen in the land or whatever. And it's so fun. It is so fun. I absolutely love I forgot what it's called, but you know, if you've played the game, you know, just those little competitions, they are so much fun. Honestly, I feel like this is super underrated, and I've been yearning for a game with a similar visual style for a while. I feel like the Dave the Diver spin-off, Boncho the Chef, is literally gonna be as close as we can get, but that doesn't have a release date, so I'm just gonna keep playing this game. I do recommend it though. It is a very fun game. It runs really, really well on the Thor. I have played it. It also just looks so nice on the Thor. It looks like it was meant to be from the DS days, you know? It's probably just the way that the characters look, the way that the game is structured. It is just meant to be on a handheld, and I love it. I honestly think there is nothing wrong with having a bunch of games that are meant to be played in short bursts. because when you finally get to play them on a device like this, it's literally perfect. Another game I have is the Tavern Talk games. The Tavern Talk games are very similar to the Coffee Talk games, but I've yet to play this. This game just came out not too long ago as I'm recording this, so I haven't gotten to it yet. Been a little distracted by Star Fox. But I'm very excited to play it on here and to see if it just even runs well. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. But I do love these types of games. They are very fun to play. Especially, I think I will play this on my next road trip. Definitely, this game and Beacon Pines are such good looking, they look like good road trip games. So I will be testing that theory on my next road trip. I do have a ton of other games on here. If you did watch my last video, I have yet to truly fix the Project Diva Mega Mix timing issue. If you didn't watch it, this game runs beautifully on the Thor, but there is an input delay that I've not been able to fix, which is a very difficult thing to have in a rhythm game. So I've not really played it since then, but I will be trying to fix it. I think that's kind of it. I mean, I also have Minecraft Dungeons, but I've not tested that yet. Besides that, I highly recommend those games if you want games that feel perfect for short bursts, for maybe a bus ride, a train ride, something of the sorts. I love those games. And of course, mobile games are also meant for the same short bursts, so there are always those. In terms of other emulated games on here, they are mostly the same as my last video. So I spent a lot of this part of the video kind of talking about the games I already had on here that I emulated, but I feel like I don't really use the emulation capabilities of the Thor as much as I should. I feel like when the Thor was first announced, it was just kind of in the emulation handheld scene, right? I mean, that's a scene that I was already in, and the Thor is a very powerful device. It can run up to GameCube and PS2 with no problem. It can probably run PS3 and Xbox when those emulators get a little more optimized. But I think what makes the Thor shine so much is the fact that it can play these PC games that I just spent the last like 30 minutes talking about. I kind of just forgot to bring that up when recording. The Thor is just such a unique device because so many of these kinds of handhelds, most reviewers focus on like, okay, what can it emulate? But now with the Thor and even more Android devices like this going forward, a lot of people are like, okay, but what PC games can I play? Can this replace my Steam Deck type of shit? I don't know. I just thought that was a little interesting. And I've already brought up the games I've emulated in the past, so I'm just kind of skipping over that part. But yeah, I just really wanted to talk about that. This thing can run so much. I know that there is an Xbox 360 emulator that was made recently. I think I downloaded it, but I've not tried anything on it. I also have a PS3 emulator that I've not tried, but I heard that this is not that bad. I heard that it works, which is crazy to me. X360 Mobile. I've not tried this yet, but I've seen some people in the Thor community bring it up, as well as the PS3 emulator. I also have a Vita emulator that I've yet to use, but would be absolutely insane if this thing could get to the point. If emulation could get to the point to where the Thor could just run PS3 and 360, that would be such a game changer. And it might. I honestly haven't done a lot of research on it, so like don't take my word for it. It might work, it might not. But yeah, those are all the games that I've been enjoying playing on here. I always love recommendations. Only other thing I can think of to talk about is how the triggers still suck, but I've learned to be fine with them. People on Etsy do sell ways to extend the triggers so that they aren't as painful. I mean, for me personally, I think the only real problem with the triggers is the angle that they're at. Like, I mean, you take a controller, right? The triggers are usually a bit tilted down. I guess the Switch controller is a pretty shitty example. Okay, I guess, well, you know, let me try that again. I meant like the Steam Deck and how the triggers are tilted down so that they rest on your finger very, very nicely. And that's pretty cool. Oh my god, you can see my creeper shirt. And on a small handheld like this, I think the reason I've been able to be okay with them is because the 3DS already had shitty triggers. Not even triggers. They were just extra bumpers, really. They were just this, but like out here. Were they? No, they were on the side. Anyway. Oh my god, the chat's gonna call me a LARPer. You can see the attempt made here to have it match that flow going. It's just not working. My fingers dig into that corner like crazy. And so playing a game like Destiny Rising can be very annoying on my fingers after a while. I wouldn't say painful like a lot of people have said, but definitely inconvenient for my hands. This is not the best way to play it. I feel like if anything, with my small little hands, this little bone is the one that touches this trigger the most instead of it. I don't know. I'm just yapping. But yeah, I love my Thor. I've used it quite a bit over these past couple months. I've used it way more than my Legion Go, than my Steam Deck. It has been pretty much my primary gaming device until, like I said, yesterday, 2 days ago when Star Fox came out, whenever Star Fox came out. But yeah, this handheld replaced my handheld PCs. It's not replaced my Switch. I mean, it could, but it won't because I have a lot of Switch 2 games I'm excited for. But it has 1000% replaced handheld PCs for me. At least the single player indie games that have been released, which are kind of all I play. But that's kind of all I have to say right now. This was mostly a little yap session. I didn't have any structure I was really aiming for with this video. I know that a lot of people do like seeing my Thor, mostly just because of my pretty little stickers I have in the front, or just seeing how I decorated it in general. So I hope you enjoyed this little update. If you have any questions, let me know. I will happily answer any. If you want a tutorial on anything, I mean, I don't really know what, besides maybe like Cocoon or stickers, let me know. Most of the stickers I got were from AliExpress. I mostly just looked up sticker books, cute stickers, small stickers, decorative stickers, whatever. I have so many, so I'm definitely gonna be using them still. And the bedazzled stars were just a leftover from my graduation cap because I graduated this month from college. Yay! Woo! Which means I can now be a YouTuber. Yay! Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you were drawing while listening to this video, I hope your drawing turned out great. If you were doing your chores, I hope you finished your chores. I know that I'm procrastinating mine right now. Or if you were cooking or eating food, I hope your meal was delicious and I hope your cooking didn't burn. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you guys later. Bye bye!